Hey crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John and it is going to be a very interesting evening. Hey crafters, thanks for joining me. Sorry, I am totally lost on technology tonight, completely out of my comfort zone, and nothing wants to work the way it's supposed to. But we're going to try to figure this out because tonight is supposed to be about cutting up and piecing out, and it's supposed to be around us doing some focus on um, embroidery, right? So that is the intent, and that is why I am in a different part of the studio tonight, still trying to work on the lights. I forgot to turn on the other lights tonight, and so we'll see. Hopefully you all can see good enough and it's going to work. But I wanted to introduce you all to Hagrid tonight. We wanted to stitch out some stuff. I wanted to talk about machine embroidery and getting all those things figured out. And if you know and have ever watched some of the other videos, I absolutely cannot stand still. That's typically why I sit. But tonight we'll get it figured out. So Danelle was the first one in tonight. Welcome. Thanks for being here with me this evening. I tell you what, it has been a crazy work week. So after everything I've gone through at work this week and had to deal with and put up with, I am just happy to be live tonight. It's just been crazy. She says, good evening, welcome in. And it is so late. I appreciate you being here today more than anything. She says, almost time for my awesome friend John. She is such a sweetheart. Melissa's here, runs with quilts, is awesome. Thanks for being here. Who else? Oh, Mona, my buddy Mona from down in Tucson. Good afternoon from an overcast, windy, and dusty Tucson. Slight chance of rain, which we really need. Yeah, it's been overcast here today. In fact, it was so cool here over the weekend or the other night. We actually had all the doors open. And so it's been kind of nice because I despise giving our utility company any more money than I have to. And believe me, they get more than their fair share. So welcome in, Balloonist. Thanks for being here. Runs with Quilts, Runs with Quilt. She says it's 9/11 in Georgia. Oh my goodness. Melanie's here. Hey, Melanie, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Danielle. Katie Crafts. Hey, Katie. Thanks so much for being here this evening. She says, I wish it would rain. It missed a bit, but nothing. We need a good soaking rain. I totally get that. Candace is here. Hey, Candace, welcome in. Nan. Oh, the farmer quilter, farm her quilter. Oh my God, I love that. Welcome in, Nanette. Thanks for being here. That is greatly appreciated. Oh, Danielle. See, that's why we love Danielle. She goes, just don't stress over it. We'll just get it done, right? We always somehow seem to do that. Tracy's here. Hey, Tracy. And my buddy Brian is here. So thanks for joining me. So we are going to try to play switch around on cameras and that tonight. I did want to talk about machine embroidery and what does that look like? What does that mean? Some of you have machines that you can embroider on and probably have never done so. Some folks tell me that they are very intimidated by embroidery. So interesting enough, we owned a commercial embroidery business for about 5 years. I had multi-needle, multi-heads, everything to do it. But interesting enough, I couldn't sew. I had no idea about sewing. I only knew about embroidery. If something happened, I had a couple of ladies that worked for us part-time that would do some stitching and do some things for us because we either put it in the scrap pile or if they were around, they would come in and take things home and fix it. We did a lot of Greek sorority work because we were in a college town. So that was cool and that really helped supplement that income. But I want to get into what is machine embroidery and what does it look like. So now I have 3 machines set up to run full-time machine embroidery. That's all they do. So I have Hagrid, which we'll talk about a little bit tonight. I haven't even turned that poor guy on yet. Hagrid is the new brunette that we just got with Harry Potter and all that good stuff. So we're going to play with him a little bit tonight. My Epic 2 is on the other side. I keep that machine set up all the time. It stitches out a lot of applique work. I do a lot of applique work with the Epic 2 because over in the corner is Hercules, which is my or the Hulk. Sorry, the Hulk is the 10 needle Viking machine. My partner typically runs that actually more than I do. And we really do that for machines and that are designs that have lots of color changes in that. So that is typically what happens over there. All right, so let's see if John can figure out how to switch cameras because we are in multiple rooms. All right, so we're not in multiple rooms, but we have multiple things going on. All right, so here I is, right? So Hagrid tonight is one of the things, one of the machines that we'll be working on. I probably should have slid that camera that way, but I can't do that now. But I wanted to be able to show both machines. I am probably going to run um, Herbert 2, which is the Viking machine. So let me get over and get him turned on because I had not turned him on either. And so I have both of those going. So let's talk about what are some things machine embroidery that we can do and what makes life fun. So I did get this stitched out this week. There it is. So I did test and play with the Harry Potter a little bit. So I did get the first Harry Potter design stitched out. And it's got the Quidditch, right? And then just Harry Potter down at the bottom. I not crazy about their color choices, so I actually did what the machine told me to do as far as color choices and that. So when I load on this machine, all the Harry Potter designs came preloaded, which is interesting. They did not give me color charts, so I can go through on here and identify what colors are in that and how many they're going to take. But it does not allow me to print those out in that. So I'd have to go through every design, write it down, put it together. Just drives me nuts, but it is what it is. And Burnett, obviously, Bernina is a big partner with Isacord. So what they tell me is like tonight, we're going to stitch out, I want to stitch out the castle. I thought Hogwarts. I thought would be something that would be fun to get stitched out tonight. And let me see, I think in the back of the book it does at least give me the all the different things that I can stitch out. And so here's all the different patterns. And if I knew how to turn that other camera off, I would, but I don't know how to. Maybe I can look and see if I can do that. But Hogwarts is what I want to stitch out tonight. It only stitches out in two colors. So I purposely picked that because I knew it probably wouldn't take as long to do it. Yeah, see, I don't know how to turn the other camera off, guys. If I did, I would, but I don't. So it is what it is tonight. Um, but it's going to be interesting to see how these stitch out. Now, the Burnett actually comes with three hoop sizes, so they are 50 by 70, 120 by 180, and 160 by 260. So those are the three hoop sizes. We're actually going to stitch the largest hoop tonight, is what I wanted to work on, and I need to turn on my iron because I have not prepped anything because I wanted us to kind of do that together. All right, so let me catch up in chat because it's going to be hard for me to do both tonight um, because I do really want to talk through machine embroidery. So who else is here? Katie goes, I love Melissa's channel name. Yes, I do too. How cool is that? Yeah, Katie. And I need to still fix, you're supposed to be able to put exclamation point my channel, and it's supposed to publish your channel if you have one and you're a subscriber to my channel. So you can try that, but I don't know for sure that it still works. I keep meaning to test it. Look, Danielle goes, wow, two colors. I tell you what, I do try to do not as many multicolors on here because I do get bored switching all these colors in that. I know that sounds crazy, but when you're used to doing I was just so used to having a multi-needle, so I never had to change colors or fool with it much. And so now that I have to, it's a whole different ball game. All right, let me get my glasses because for some reason I can't even thread a machine if I don't have my glasses on. What I will say one thing I'm not overly thrilled about is Burnett, the way the threads and that go in here. It goes in sideways, which is fine for the smaller spools, but you can see I've got big spools that I typically run with, and so I had to go get my other element out to hold those. All right. But so far, I've been really happy overall with the machine. I mean, that's probably my biggest criticism of the machine, and I mean, that is what it is. And probably a lot of people run with the smaller spools. I just like the, especially black, white, gray, those colors. I tend to use a lot of the same thing. I do like it's got a nice display on the front that tells me what my color or how to thread this, use their needle threader, because I am so Juki bound that it really took me quite a few tries. I would never confess to how many tries it actually took me, because it took me more than I would like, and say it didn't thread that time either. I'm not crazy about Burnett's needle threader, and I always thought, sadly, I thought that Juki had a pretty poor needle threading system, but compared to this one, theirs looks pretty amazing. All right, I got it in, but now the thread is frayed. All right, so we're going to have to do that yet a third time. So we may spend tonight just threading this silly machine. So Hagrid is not going to be my best friend tonight if he doesn't get this figured out soon. Okay. And typically, I always have tweezers here because I have fat fingers for some reason, and I can never get where I need to get to. And believe it or not, I have probably 16 pairs of tweezers because I keep them all when hands reach, and then somehow whenever I need one, I still don't have a pair. I literally bought a case of them from Checker the last time I did an order, and they are cute because they're little unicorns, right? So how adorable are those? So I had to have the unicorns. All right, let me see if we can get him threaded, and then we'll go over and talk about how do we put, how do we hoop and get ready. I know Alex has done quite a few lives with her machine embroidery. I'll be honest, I've never caught her like at the beginning, so I don't know how she's walked through what needs to happen. I will say it's interesting because this machine likes to pull the bobbin, do that. It goes through all these different steps, and it's like, man, if you could just pull the bobbin and be ready. All right, so let me switch over, and we'll jump over to the cutting table, I hope. Yes, and we'll take a look there so I can show you what is happening over there. All right, let me go back here. I wanted to catch up in chat. Hey, Pat, welcome in. Thanks for being here this evening. Oh, Brian goes, I like the stag design. Yes, I do too. Oh, Candace, don't be jealous. You know, it's always fun to get a new machine, new toy, right? And guys, I know you can't see me. I'm trying to get over there to cut fabric. Oh, Karen, so she's such a sweetheart. She's on tonight. Hey, Karen, Carl and I say hi, and we can't wait to see you. Karen's going to be at our retreat in a few weeks, and we are so excited to have her back. All right, so let's jump over so we can talk about cutting fabric and what that looks like. So when we talk about putting together, oh, and I did want to show you this one piece that I got done, but I am going to go with the largest hoop tonight. I tend to, depending on what I am doing, I tend to do a lot of stuff with cutaway. I am not as big a fan of tearaway. So unless I'm actually going to put it on me, on my chest or something like that, I tend to use mostly cutaway. I know there's a lot of schools of thought out there. There's other people that claim to be experts, and there's, I'm sure, people much brighter than me that have their own working philosophy around how that happens. But I do use a lot of cutaway in my crafting. I decided to go with this grunge, so I'm not sure how it's showing up on the camera, but it's a pale white background, so it's not a bright white background. And then it's got the dark gray kind of running all through it. Knowing that I'm doing Hagrid or working with Hagrid tonight and we're doing Hogwarts, behind Hogwarts is the golden moon, and then it's going to stitch the castle. To me, this just made sense, and this is what I wanted to stitch out tonight. When I go to cut my fabric, I like to leave myself a couple of inches on both sides. I am just very generous with fabric. Yes, I know fabric's expensive, but I also know when I don't leave myself enough to be able to go back and trim and do what I want to do, I get disappointed. So I tend to give myself a lot of extra. And then you can see here, right, I'm going to have plenty of extra. And we're going to open this up. I don't know if we're going to open it up. We'll probably just cut it because I'm going to want to at least stitch 2 more pieces on here, and so it's fine that I'm going to have this much, but I don't need that much extra. All right, so let me get that done real quick. All right, so now I've got my 2 pieces or 1 piece of fabric cut. Next thing I would do is come over. I tend to buy my backing off of eBay. I buy it from a group out of Oklahoma. I have bought their backing for years and years. If you're interested, I can drop their link in the chat later, or not in the chat, but probably in the after show. Put it in the Facebook page and that. I've had really good luck with them. I like the sizes and that they sell. I think they're very competitive and at the same time. So again, that's just where I have been buying it, and it's from and they have a big store, I believe, in Oklahoma. So anyway, so as you can see, I've got plenty of room on the backing here to figure out what I want and how I'm going to do it. I do want to run over to the ironing board because I do want to I've already cut, guys. I want to iron some of this off real quick. And I did turn the iron on. So let's do that. I'm just going to do both pieces at once. I am going to spray just a little bit of starch on here because I do like to make sure that this is just a little bit stiff before it goes in the machine. And again, that's my personal preference. It does, most people will tell you it's not necessary and you don't need to do it. But I do a lot of things that people say I don't have to do. And I will tell you, it was funny, we were talking at lunch the other day at work, and we were talking about ironing. And of course, all the women at lunch were talking about, God, no, I never iron anymore. I wouldn't iron if I had to, and blah, blah, blah. And they looked at me and I said, I iron every day. I have multiple irons and that, but I do it for crafting. Now, would I iron this t-shirt or something else? Probably not so much. That's completely different. So I don't tend to iron my clothes, as my boss probably understands sometimes, because I know she's very prim and proper and I'm not. So I wear jeans. I don't tuck my shirt in, which doesn't make some people happy. And sometimes I don't get them out of the dryer fast enough. So I go to work with a little bit wrinkled shirt. And so again, it is what it is. Yes, if you're watching and can see more of me than I'm used to, I never wear shoes. I grew up in Kentucky. I'm an old country boy, and I don't believe in shoes inside the house. All right, so give me 1 second. Let me get this pressed real quick. And I can turn the iron off so my house will be cooler. And then we will jump over and get into hooping and how John hoops. And again, I think at the end of the day, you tend to learn your method and what makes sense for you. There's plenty of people out there that believe there's only a certain way that you can hoop and you have to do it this way. What I will tell you, what you want to be really careful of is hoop burns. And that's when you're trying to hoop corners and you're forcing the fabric down too tight. And when you do that, it does make a big difference. All right, so with that said, I've got plenty of room here around my hoop. Yep, there we go. I've got plenty of room there around my hoop to do what it needs to do. This is the side that goes into Hagrid. So it goes in this way because it's got to read that chip so it knows what size I'm using. I can open and adjust my hoops here, and I really do like, this is new to me because I can tell you when we owned the business, hoops weren't like this with this closure on them. My Viking has them and this one does too. I really like that. On the Viking, I tend to use magnetic hoops. I have not invested in a magnetic hoop for Hagrid. I'll be honest, as easy as it is to hoop and as much as I'm used to it, I don't know that I'm going to bother with it because it's just an investment and this is not that big a hoop to fool with. So we'll see. As he gets more attention and grows on me, we'll definitely figure out how he comes. All right, again, I've got the hoop here. I can feel all the way around and understand where he's at. I hoop top to bottom. Some people hoop side to side. What I will tell you is you don't want to press too tight. You want to make sure that that you're getting everything lined up so you don't have puckers and gaps in your fabric when you're putting this together. And to do that, you want to make sure that you've got that down just right. People hoop too tight, and when you hoop too tight, that will actually itself create puckers in that. I will tell you on bigger pieces, I do tend to spray 505 down a little bit to give me a little bit more solid background. I will tighten the hoop up now just a little bit, and then I'll close it. So now that hoop is closed, locked in place, we're ready to go. So it doesn't take that long. It's not rocket science, but what it does take is a little patience, a little practice, and you want to learn what that sweet spot is for you. And that's what you're going to find out more than anything is trying to discover what that sweet spot is. All right, so let's jump back over to this camera. And I hope I'm not making you all dizzy jumping around on cameras tonight. So this hoop is up, ready to go. And so we are going to put him in Hagrid and see what that looks like. All right. Oh, John. All right, I hate when the machine does this for me. So we may have to start over because John's still trying to learn this machine is the problem. So I've already got the foot down and I don't know how to put the foot up on this machine. I've got needle up, needle down, but it doesn't raise the foot, which will allow me to get in, to get the hoop in. So I did this the other day and I should have went back and looked. I will say, when it comes to instructions for this machine, I already had Bernina, so I kind of understand the way Bernina works in that. Their instructions and support for this machine is extremely lacking. So if you're a brand new quilter sewer, they give you this little bitty highlights book and quick start guide. And let me tell you, they take a lot for granted in here. And so I'm sure I can get online and figure out and find out some other things. I don't do that. I explore and just push buttons until I get to what I want to get to. All right, well, I'm waiting for the machine to warm back up because it's a Bernina and it has to think and go through its process. Let's jump over to chat and see what John's missing tonight. All right. Candy's here. Hey, Candy, welcome in. Thanks for being with me this evening. Oh, Pat goes, I wonder if the multi-spool holder will fit on the Burnett. So they do have a hole here. It did come with this additional piece, but I don't like it because it barely goes down in there. You still got this lid to fool with, so this spool's too big for that. So it doesn't solve my issue. Now, I could put this isocort thread on it, but Again, I know this is not, this is the top of the line for Burnett, so I know it's just different, but it is what it is. Yes, Dale. Dale's here. Welcome in, Dale. Thanks for being here. And thank you for mentioning Brian's witch's hat. I loved that. I watched that the other day. Of course, I'm a Halloween fan anyways. I did not comment on it because I was watching it on, I think, my phone or something. But anyways, I never have gotten back in to look at it. But if you have, um, do that. Thanks, Brian. Brian goes, I love your studio space. We're still going to do a tour at some point, guys. Thank you, Candace. She doesn't wear shoes either. See, there's just something about that. Oh no, Dale says I just turned the furnace back on. Lord have mercy. Wish that is not the case in Arizona, guys. I've got the air chugging tonight. Um, Katie goes, I haven't turned the furnace off yet. We had a record warm winter, and now spring is just gray and chilly. How crazy is that? All right, thanks for asking. Katie, we did too, but 42 is code for me nowadays. Too code for me, I can tell you. Guys, that would, oh no, that would make me want to cry. All right, so Hagrid is now ready. The foot's back up like it should be. I'm going to slide this in. It will automatically center and do all those things that it needs to do for me. We're going to go push the castle because that's what we're going to work with. And I think we're actually ready to go, believe it or not. All right, so let's see if we can get him stitching. I do think it's funny how it always wants me to pull the bobbin. In their quick guide, it doesn't tell me if there's a setting that I can turn that on and off. And, guys, I just got this out of the box like Sunday. So, and you saw the unboxing, I hope. If you haven't, go back and watch the unboxing. It probably wasn't the best one that I've done, but I did get it done. All right, so, oh no. What did you do, John? All right. All right, go. There we go. All right, so let's go stitch the moon. I will say one of the things I do like about the Burnett, considering it's right not the top of their line, it is for the Burnett, but it does stitch really quiet. And I will say that's one of the things I've gotten used to with the Juki, right? The Juki can be loud, I know that, but I like the Juki because it's such a workhorse. But when I turned this one on and it started stitching, I was like, wow, I can't believe even they're more plastic, models than that, how quiet Burnett's are. I mean, Berninas are quiet machines. All right, so what am I doing? So I have decided, I showed you all this a while back, but this is the Pride quilt, not quilt, but wall hanging that I put together a while back. I went through and found a bunch of Pride designs that I liked. I got to be careful of the fan up there. But I really liked this, and I liked how this ended up coming together. I don't know if I'm going to do 9 squares of Harry Potter or if I'll do just 6, but that's the plan. So I am going to do a wall hanging similar to this with the Harry Potter designs. So that's going to be the focus, and that's where we're going to get to. So I'm curious how many of you on the live tonight actually do machine embroidery. Do you like machine embroidery, or do you not have it and not interested at all, but it's fun just to kind of watch and hear what somebody else may be going through? All right, let me switch over and maybe we'll go to this camera and you all can see me for a few minutes. Yes, there I is. All of my glory, guys. All right. Let me get back to chat for a few minutes. Well, let's go try to go back to chat. There it is. Okay. All right. So thank you, Brian. You're always such an encourager. I do appreciate it. Um, Danielle says we're having a freeze warning. Can someone please get Mother Nature her menopause meds? Oh my God. She's giving me whiplash. I bet. Well, guys, here in March, we were at 110. And then we actually dropped much cooler for April, which is kind of unusual. And now we're starting to slowly climb back up. But I remember my daughter in Virginia was calling and talking about the weather. And she's like, I'm so sick of snow, or I'm so sick of rain. And, like it was 22 today and the kids were out of school again. And I'm like, yeah, honey, I don't know how to relate because we had to turn the AC on. We normally don't run the AC the first part of the year, but when you're at 110, you don't have a choice. It was just crazy. Danelle says, I do machine embroidery for my quilt labels. I have the brother. Oh, yes. I love that SC600. That's a nice machine, too. I have started doing some more of the labels for the or quilts, and that is such a great idea and a way of doing it. Brian, of course, does it. He's got that beautiful brother machine, so I know he's doing it. Janet says, I love machine embroidery. I do, too. Thanks, Danielle. Oh, Candace says, I have a Janome 550E for a year and have only used it twice. Never enough. Girlfriend, there is never enough time. I keep trying to figure out how I can retire. I was so excited. I won the Powerball last night, and my share of the Powerball was $4. So, needless to say, I had to get up and go back to work this morning. So, it is what it is. Mona goes, I don't have one, and I'm not sure how much I would use it. I think you really have to make a plan to use it at the end of the day. I think for me, the problem is this is my comfort zone. I like doing the machine embroidery. It's what I'm used to. It's kind of what I started with. And so it just makes sense for me. Oh, Sewing Wolf, yeah, has that Brother Innovis Disney machine. That is such a sweet machine. Oh, Janet goes, I've been listening. I've been sorting fabric. Janet, all good. I have been, that's the problem with me on the weekends. Like tonight, I watched Lynn at Soft Squares had an amazing sale, and she was selling a lot of different fabrics at $5 a yard. But I was doing 20 other things. I was paying attention to her. They were having such a good time. And they probably had some fabrics that I wouldn't have mind picking up, but I ended up just not fooling with it because I just didn't have time. Hey, Alex, we were talking about you earlier and all your machine embroidery endeavors. So good to see you. Brenda Joy's here. She says, good evening. I do embroidery. I have for many years. I think 1995, my first Janome machine. Goodness gracious, lady, you have been doing that for a while. Delia's here. Hey, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Always fun to see you. So it's just crazy what you get into. So let me talk about a few other things that we were working on. I've shown you the sewing machines that I'm doing and working on those. So I've got those cut out. I've got those already. Those are an AccuQuilt pattern. And I actually do those on Herbert, the other, um, my Viking Epic 2. I do all of those with the magnetic hoop, and I probably won't get over there and get that started tonight because I think we have enough over here just going on. But let me show you what that pattern looks like. What I like about some of these, I found a group called Creative Appliques, and that's where I got these. And if you own this die, this is an amazing piece to do, right? So it says my happy place. It's got the sewing machine and all of that. So I thought those were just too cute not to do. So I am doing those and we'll be gifting some of those at some point. But it's nice because you cut all the applique out of the AccuQuilt die and then you just run it through your home machine. So that makes it nice. I've got a stack of those that I need to get done before the quilt retreat. And then I was going through, this again came from Creative Applique. There's so many places, right? Juju has them, Sweet Pea has them. There's all these different places that you can buy designs. One of the other designs that I bought from Creative Applique is they also have the koozie bowls for AccuQuilt. So I love doing the koozie bowls in that, but they're such a pain to do. Well, it's a whole lot different when you're doing them on the machine. And what I like about theirs is if you use their pattern, so you cut it again, you cut everything out on the AccuQuilt, but it's all done in the hoop, in the machine, on the embroidery machine. and they give you 4 different finishes. So one does a stippling, one does a like a pyramid, another one does straight cross, and the other one does a cross hatch. Then there's one that will actually stitch it out with hearts, and another one that does stars. So it's a way of really taking your cozy bowls kind of up to the next level. So I do have a bunch cut out that I wanted to work on, but I haven't gotten to those yet either because, again, I should have been the ADHD quilter, but it is what it is, guys. I mean, have a good time, yeah, right? I'm just loving life. And then this is one of the other patterns that I got from them that I'm actually building these flags out for my kids. So I had shown you all the Easter ones. This is the Hello Spring that I want to do for them. And then I have a patriotic one that I want to get done. And then eventually I will go back and buy like the fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, because the plan is to get them little hangers for all seasons. And these stitch out pretty quick, and they're nice because these are all machine embroidery, so there's no applique. So I don't have all the pieces in that. So it's just a matter of changing the threads over when it gets there. What else did I pull out? Oh, I got these from Sweet Pea, and I forgot that I had bought them. So, everybody's doing the Hemingway bags again and that, and they're a lot of fun, and they have been fun. And just a reminder, John bought all this. I'm not sponsored. I don't, I do have a couple of affiliate links, but at the end of the day, this is all my money, and this is why John still works and not retired, but we hope to get there. But this one is called So Much to Do, So Little Time. How adorable are these little zip bags? And you can do them all in the hoop, 4x4, 5x5, or 6x6. So I did want to get one of those done and play with those. So I've got that laying out. And I bought this design like 2 years ago. And then I found this one called So Obsessed. And I really liked that one. And I liked that it was bigger because it's 5x7, 6x10, actually goes to 7x12 or 8x12 if you have a hoop big enough. I do appreciate that they have all those different sizes because it depends on how you want to use it and what you want to do. And it's not just all the other. All right, let me switch back over and let's see. So, oh, my moon's done. How pretty is that? So I'm hoping that we get this done while we are live tonight so you all can see how pretty this finishes out. So again, I've only stitched the 2 designs that I've shown you, so I haven't really got to play with Hagrid that much. My partner thought we were going to name him Oleander, so we decided to name his X-Tool laser cutter Oleander because being woodworking and that just seems like his name should really be Oleander. And this just made better sense to be Hagrid. My first choice was Dalby, but we named the last 3D printer we bought Dalby. So Dalby was already taken, so I had to find another name. So I do like Hagrid too. And I know some people don't. I know people like Harry Potter. I know they're not always crazy about J.K. Rowling. Guys, if you follow my channel enough in that, I'm sure you assume some opinions, but that's not what my channel's about, and I do what I like, and I choose how I support which organizations and that the way it makes sense for John. And if you all have different choices, I'm good with that. I think each of us should do what makes sense for us, for that individual. All right. All right. Oh, come on. There it goes. So now we are stitching the castle. So very exciting. And we'll see if this gets done before the live's over. It does give you a stitch counter and all that. And by the way, I have the stitching as fast as it can possibly stitch because, again, John's very impatient. And if they didn't want it to stitch that fast, they wouldn't have made that available to stitch that fast. All right, let me get back on camera. Doobie doobie doo. That one. Yes, there I is. All right, let's jump into the chat and see what you all have been chatting about while I've been just running on and on. Katie Craft says we had a high of 46 most of the winter was warmer than that. Girlfriend, I tell you what, anything below 78 freezes me. Interesting enough, we are talking about selling out, relocating, probably down because we want to be close to Mona and spend time down there. We're actually going down to look at property in that over the 4th of July. But I just want some acreage and I want to get away from the big city. But we also want to get somewhere that has a moderate climate because if it snows a half inch, 2 inches occasionally, I'm good with that. But anything more than that, I just can't handle. I just don't even want to sit in the house with a fireplace and a furnace going, looking out. It's not comfort to me. So I need a more temperate climate, but I also want to get out of the 118 in Phoenix and get something that is a little bit cooler. Oh, see, Brian says that's beautiful. Thank you. I know you're talking about the Pride quilt, so thank you so much. Um, Dale says always ready to learn something new. I bet you could probably help teach all of us. It's so crazy. Um, oh, I went too far back. Let me get here. Oh, Janet says she has an icon too. Not familiar with that. I'll have to take a look and figure out what that is because I like knowing what each one of those are. Karen goes, I love embroidery, machine, and hand. I used to do hand embroidery when I was a kid. Mom taught me cross stitch and all that, but I haven't done anything like that. And I ended up buying Annie Crafts or whatever to get me started on a new crochet Afghan. And guess what? It's still sitting over there. And has John gotten to it? No, John has not gotten to it. So maybe when we go on vacation, I can take that with me and because I'm not taking a sewing machine on vacation. I so badly wanted to take my featherweight last year to the beach and that. And everybody's like, you can't do that. You're going to see the grandkids. You got to focus on the grandkids. And I'm like, but the grandkids want to learn to sew, you know? So, but I didn't. I was good. So, and we'll see if John's as good this year. Nanette says, I love my Bernina 830, not fancy with camera and such, but does beautiful embroidery. Berninas are nice machines. I'll never take anything away from them. I love the Brother machines. I think each one has their kind of like little nuance. And but the Bernina 830 does stitch a beautiful stitch. Hi, Sewing Wolf. Welcome in. Oh, Katie Graff said Bob had an embroidery and screen printing business. Yep, see? And for some reason, the two always go hand in hand. Before we had sold our business, we had gotten into screen printing. So it's like for some reason, those two do go hand in hand in people's mind. Who else? Alex says she needs a new machine. I remember you talking about it not too long ago. They're just so expensive nowadays. It's just crazy. I mean, I should have never spent the money to get this machine, but it's a nice machine, and I just knew I wouldn't get it any other. But I'm pretty much done, except then Juki told me they're coming out possibly with a newer model than the DX4000 QVP, which, guys, miraculously, that machine is fixed and ready to come back. So we will be picking Hercules up this weekend and bringing him home. So I can, poor Jake may get relegated to the back again. But I really do love stitching on Jake, my straight needle. But I want to do more fancy stuff. I want to get into doing designs on my binding. I've watched a lot of creators that are doing special designs, you know, using decorative stitches on their binding when they finish the quilts and that. And I think that would be fun, especially like the table runner that I just finished for Halloween. How cool would that be? Plus, Hagrid stitches specialty has specialty borders in that he can stitch that are Harry Potter. So we'll see. What else? Ness says, do you use embroidery software? Yes. So John, of course, being an overachiever, I use two. So the embroidery software by choice that I really like is Embrilliance, and Embrilliance is the embroidery software that I go to. Part of the reason is Embrilliance will allow you to load it on several machines, so they're not as strict as some of the others, and it works on Apple. I'm an all Apple guy at home, so I have to stick with products that go on Apple. However, because they did come out with additional patterns and that you could purchase to go with Hagrid, but the only way to get them was to do the $100 upgrade, and that included Dime software. So I do have Dime software and I do have Embrilliance. Those are the two softwares I use. I'm not as familiar with Dime, but I have a lot of friends that use Dime, and Dime does have a free version that you can download that will let you do some things, especially resize and do some simple things that doesn't cost you any money. And so, but those are my two. Oh, Delia says, have you ever checked out Creative Kiwi? Absolutely. That's another one. I will be honest, I have not bought from them that I know of. You know me, sometimes I buy too much and I forget. But I don't remember buying from Creative Kiwi in the past. I have bought from Sweet Pea. I have bought from Juju. Um, I buy from EMB Library, embroidery.com. I have looked at Kiwi and I don't, there's no particular reason I haven't bought from them. Just, I probably got it so much at one point that I had to kind of back up, you know? Right, because I was rooting for Hagrid. You demand. Oh my God. Danielle says I'm in a hoodie and fuzzy. So I look ridiculous, right? Running around in shorts and a t-shirt and no shoes. Oh, and Brian uses Embrilliance. I really like Embrilliance. I think it's a fairly simple software to use. I get frustrated because I don't use it enough sometimes. Like I want to change hoop size, and you literally have to go over to settings and that. So I think there's other shortcuts that they could have in that software, but I do like Embrilliance. Oh, it's a FOV. Okay. I am not as familiar with FOV. That is probably the one brand that I just don't know as well as many others. It was interesting. I thought when Sean, his new machine is a FOV. And I think it's a cool machine. I love watching him use it. So it's the only reason I don't know about that machine as well is it's just not as prevalent at the dealers that I happen to go to, and not as many in our quilt club have it, but some do. I mean, it's a nice machine. Who else? Oh, Alex goes, I'm looking at the Harry Potter. If I don't get that, I'll get another Brother. Yeah, Brother makes an amazing machine, but yes, absolutely. Um, hey, Katie, my Greenland quilter, welcome. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Talking about the memberships, I appreciate that. You are such a sweetheart. Thank you for helping promote me and everything that goes with it. Oh, Alex received a gift membership by Greenland Quilter. You are so awesome. Thank you all. Thank you guys. That means so much. Kitty goes, I bought a Grace Little Rebel machine to put on my breeze frame. It will fit in my little house when I can clean out the office. Yeah, you know what, guys? It's we do what we can do. I ended up expanding and taking over this entire what used to be a formal living room with dining room. We used to host a lot of parties and that. We still do on the back of the house because I've got a family room kitchen and all that we can do that in. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is what I love and this is what I want to do. And I want to be on the YouTube. And so that's what we do. So it is so crazy. Oh, Janet received a gift membership. Thank you again, Katie. Welcome, Janet. Thanks for being part of the channel and being a member. Oh, Danelle went. Now she's back. Okay. I buy a lot of embroidery designs on Etsy. I have bought a few off of Etsy. I got frustrated because I bought a Grinch design off Etsy and it ran horribly. And then, to my dismay, when I went back and read the reviews about it, everybody commented on there what a poor design it was and that it didn't stitch. So instead of getting taken in by the picture and the design and all that and grabbing it real quick, I should have read the reviews before I purchased it. So it's my own fault, but it just turned me off just a little bit. Oh, Alex has the fall passport too. Look at you. Oh wow. Kittycraft says, my first machine was a fob and is a workhorse. I got it back in the 80s. How crazy is that? So, guys, too, don't forget. So, it's hard to believe, right? Tomorrow's May 1st. So, we're already counting down the days. I've only got 22 days. We'll be hosting our second quilting retreat. I am so excited. Karen Sows is going to be there with her friends and that. We're going to have an amazing time. Ray Steves is going to be part of that. But coming up that weekend will be our Memorial Day holiday quilting bee, and it feels like forever since we've done one, which means I have not had a holiday since Martin Luther King back in January. So the next holiday quilting bee will be coming up. I believe what I'm going to do this year for that one is a Villa Rosa. I know you're shocked, but actually do the Villa Rosa patriotic table runner. So I think I'm going to do a table runner versus a full-size quilt, just because I've got so many projects to do. I still keep telling Pat every time I'm live, I'm going to finish the panel Quilt of Valor. And sadly, it's ready. I just need to go put the final borders on it to get it to the size it needs to be. But has John done that? No. But maybe we'll get that done this weekend. John actually took off Monday so I can get caught up to get ready for the quilt retreat. I've got all the supplies in. I've got to start building out all the gift bags and all the goodies, and then we'll get there. All right. Nanette says, oh, wow. She has the 2.0 and the 3.0. Yep, she goes, I've had some that and I haven't spent a lot of money. Yeah, it's just, there's so many designs out there in that. You just want to be cautious about what you get. You definitely want to think about the sizing in that. You want to look at stitch counts and that. Definitely read your reviews. That was my fault on the one design that I bought from Etsy. And I do think thread matters at the end of the day. So I tend to be a poly guy. When we had our embroidery business, I used polyester. That's what I like. I think it stitches clean. I think it stitches well. I'm very happy with it. Tonight, I actually did use a mixture because I had bought a bunch of isocord thread. And so for the sun, it actually called for, or not the sun, but for the moon, it called for isocord 704. That's what I grabbed. So it is a pretty golden color. So I actually had exactly what the pattern called for. And then the castle stitches out in black, and I'm back to glide because when it comes to stable colors, black, white, grays, all of those colors, it's going to be glide because I buy the large spools because again, I like glide. I know a lot of quilters like Aurifil, and that's, because I have plenty of friends that tell me if I'm stitching cotton, I have to stitch with cotton thread, especially when I'm doing piecing. I don't buy into that philosophy because I'm a man and I do what I want and I just ignore that. Everybody has their own school of thought. So at the end of the day, I don't use Aurifil very often. I have it, but you'll see me end up gifting it more than anything because I just don't I just don't like the lint in that I tend to get with Aurifil, and it's just messy to me and gets my bobbin cases and all that dirty. So I tend to be a big poly fan, and Glide is right now my go-to. I do have Madeira, and I am actually a distributor for Bob and some of their brands out of Canada, but with the new tariffs and all that, that kind of got crazy for a while, and so I ended up just kind of sticking with Glide, but I do like their threads as well. All right, so who else is here? And it says, I wish I'd gotten the 3.0, but I got the 2.0. Yeah, it always is, right? I mean, you always think about it afterwards, right? And sometimes we have to stretch to get the next level up. We're happy later, but we also have to eat and do other things in between. And so we're trying to make good choices and better choices now. All right, so this is almost done. It's putting the border on, and then I'm going to be able to show you all that one. So that is going to be done. Oh, Jen says I can't stay awake. Good night, Jen. Thanks for being here. Alex goes, yep, that's what I use. Yeah, see, it's good thread. Delia says, I like Madeira, Glide. I do have some Robinson Anton, and I'll tell you why. And I've used it and I like it. But about 3 years ago, 35th, which is my go to store, I guess decided they didn't want to carry Robinson Anton anymore. And they literally had bowls full of it for $1 a spool. Well, for $1 a spool at the time, I was trying to build my collection. And as you can see, John did really well building the collection because you can't see it off camera. But not only do I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves of thread, it actually goes all the way down that wall. And I had to double stack the thread, and sadly, not all of it fit. So I actually have in my other Husky cabinet, I have 3 drawers full of thread. So I did go overboard because I like to know when I need a thread that I have it. I don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to have to go research it and all that kind of crazy mess. All right, so this is just about done. And so I am so excited. I'm going to get to, well, maybe show you. It says it still has 16 minutes. Wow, where did it go stitch? Interesting. I don't know. All right, so it's stitching some of the rock formations, right? Like the cracks in the walls and that. So it's got, according to this, it's got another 15 minutes, but I can't imagine what all it still has to stitch. It looks like it should be about done. Oh, sorry, I was trying to find the pattern just so I could see real quick what was going on there. Well, now I can't find the pattern, of course. Huh. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, it's got all the details for the building. So we'll be able to show you on Sunday what that looks like. So sorry about that, guys. But what do we have coming up this week? So I have a couple of videos coming out about some other projects that I'm working on because we are focused on getting some other things going and done as well. So that is always fun. And then next Thursday is going to be what? Is going to be next Thursday. May 7th is pre-cut night. So I have no idea what we're going to do as far as pre-cuts and that. If you remember, the last time we did a pattern with jelly rolls. And so I will probably do something with a charm pack maybe, or a layer cake. I've got quite a few layer cakes. What I would like to do is the 5x5 tote bag, and I made some of those for Christmas, and the girls loved those. My niece and daughter in that, and it's where you take so it takes 50 charms, so 55-inch squares to make the tote bag because it's 5x5, right? And you need front and back. And I really did like that pattern and how that came out. So I might do those. So we'll figure that out. But May 7th, next Thursday night, will be pre-cut night. We'll be doing pre-cuts and working on that. What's really, really exciting is it's only about a week, and I'm going to be on Katie's channel, the Greenland Quilter, and we will be spending some time together, and it has been forever, and it's my fault. Katie's asked me a couple of times to be on her channel, but life has just been too crazy. And interesting enough, today, praise Jesus, we sold the park home, and we have been trying to sell that house all year. We actually got our an offer yesterday and got everything firmed up and closed today. So now we're just waiting for them to do their inspections and that. And so by the middle of May, that's done. So I do have to figure out, in between everything else we've got going on, how to stop, run up there, and um, get to the park home. All right, so see, this drives me nuts. I got to still learn how to do this. All right, so this is done. Right? Yeah, it's done. All right, so let's pop this open real quick and show you guys. Look how cute this is. This is going to be amazing. And so I am so excited about this. So that is Hogwarts with the golden moon. And it just, I don't know, this grunge fabric for some reason called to me because I think so much of the patterns that they sent us stitch in black. And I just didn't want the stark white against it. So that's why I ended up going with this grunge. It just made sense to me. So I am excited that we got done and you were able to see Hagrid do at least one function tonight. The plan is every fifth Thursday we will do machine embroidery. So, we probably won't see one for a couple of months now, just because I know some quilters enjoy it, some don't. It's just not, we all have different likes and dislikes. So that's why I put machine embroidery as a fifth Thursday opportunity. Jean says, thanks for sharing. I'm doing online embroidery summit this weekend free. I'm going to try to learn it all. I am too. I am so excited. They sent our goodie bag today. It was free. And so they have some great speakers and great opportunities there. So if you've not seen it, you should look at that online machine embroidery and join that because it was all absolutely free. Candace says, looks great. Thank you so much. Danelle says, so cool. We might have to figure out how to do a couple of stitched outs and send those up to Michigan at some point. Not making any commitments yet, but when you talk about some besties get some things that they want. Beckman says, sounds really quiet. Yeah, it does. Right? How crazy is that? Oh, good. Thanks, Nanette. I did. For some reason, the grunge just called out. So, guys, I appreciate you all being here. I hope you all have an amazing start to your weekend. I hope everything's going well. I appreciate you giving me some time this evening. And as always, until next time, happy crafting.